I just deposited my entire paycheck, over $3,600 straight into ULTY. That's not clickbait. That's my real portfolio. No index funds, no splitting it up, just full conviction into weekly dividends. And that move, it's already paying me back, literally. A quick reminder, none of this is financial advice, and this is just what I am doing with my money inside of ULTY. Welcome back, dividend stackers. If you're new here, this channel documents my journey building weekly income using YieldMax's ULTY ETF with margin, drip, and real life decisions along the way. And real quick, if you're getting value or just simply plain entertained from this journey, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss these weekly updates. Now, let's jump into the numbers. The portfolio is sitting at just over $7,681 with now 1,379 shares of ULTY. I will have received over $513 in dividends, and even though the market price dipped, my total true gain, including dividends, is still positive, currently sitting at $173.18 for a total of a 2.31%. So while the unrealized PML shows me down a bit, about $340 as of Wednesday, those dividends are closing the gap and keeping this portfolio cash flowing. So here's what went down. On September 23rd, I deposited $3,600, my full paycheck, into the account. From that, I bought 530 shares of ULTY at around $5.66, which cost me just under $3,000. The rest went in to pay down the margin. However, I redeployed that margin back out to pay bills, and I will be prepping for when that I will update on the weekend update. Additionally, I manually reinvested or dripped another 22 shares using the dividends that will be paid out this Friday. This wasn't a one-off. This is part of the plan, an income strategy powered by consistent buying and weekly compounding. Here's the best part. With the extra shares from that paycheck, I am now set to receive $124.98 of dividend this week. That is because YieldMax just announced the new payout at 0.0921 cents per share. And since now I have 1,379 shares, the math checks out. And unlike previous weeks, 100% of this payout is classified as income and no return on capital, which is a good sign for tax transparency and predictable cash. The reinvestments keep stacking. This week alone, I added 22 shares from the drip as a manual buy. And that's what makes this work. Every week, the payouts buy more shares, those shares again next week, and the whole thing keeps growing. It's not just dividend income, it's dividend acceleration. So let's talk real life here. I used Robinhood margin to help pay bills this week. I borrowed about $667, which still leaves me with over $4,900 in buffer and a low risk margin status as far as Robinhood's concerned. Since my first $1,000 is interest free, I'm effectively using my portfolio as a short-term line of credit to flow cash flow while never touching the base of my investments. And this is where margin becomes a tool and not a trap if used wisely. As you can see here, I began paying some of the bills out of the spending account. Currently, the spending account shows $103.60 of available cash, which I will be adding my rent as it will be due later this week. So you can see there my Xfinity mobile payment came out, my Comcast payment came out, and storage space that I have also came out. The first one didn't go through quite as planned, as Robinhood did have me verify to make sure it was me using the account. Then afterwards, it quickly went through. And again, all I did here was transfer money from margin to the spending account. And this is the first $250 that was transferred over. So the rent will be covered by the end of the week. My trades are running, and I'll be updating the full ULTY YOLO trade deck this weekend. If this trend continues, I'll cross $150 per week in dividends by October, putting me on pace for $600 to $1,000 per month in real cash flow from just ULTY. And that's what I'm chasing, a consistent income and total transparency. If you ever thought about going all in on a dividend strategy, then this is what it looks like in real life. No fluff, no fake screenshots, just me, the numbers, and the grind. my share cost basis went down to $5.82. My break-even price now sits at $5.44. However, ULT's market price continues to drop into the after hours, currently sitting at $5.51. So something you have to watch out for, but currently, since my break-even is sitting at $5.44, I'm still sitting in a good spot so far. But the plan is, of course, to stack dividends in order to stack more shares. All in all, building a bigger dividend compounding machine. Of course, and that is the plan, and we'll see if it works out. Hey, and a big thank you to everyone who's been fueling the spreadsheets through buying me a coffee. Seriously, your support powers the uploads and the energy drinks. And now I want to know from you, if you could put your entire paycheck into any single investment, what would it be?
And why? Drop it in the comments.
Remember, none of this is financial advice, and this is just what I am doing with my money inside of ULTY. See you on the weekend update. ULT YOLO out.